Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. In Shakur Stevenson's case, you could be finding a way to get away from your promoter, Bob Arum and Top Rank, because there's a huge opportunity that could be awaiting you. Now, if it's your first time to the channel, please subscribe. Now, I'm going to sit here and tell you right now, when these fighters start talking in code, that code of Hammurabi, right? I'm telling you, it's our job to decode it, to try to understand what it is they're trying to tell us without telling us. And I'm going to tell you this. I think Shakur Stevenson is going to try to approach leaving Top Rank intelligently. Now, what I mean is, I think he's gonna approach them and say, "Hey, look, get me the Gervonta Davis fight." Because Shakur Stevenson has a year left on his contract. And I really think that is what he wants. Because he keeps mentioning that. Now, this is why I think he's going to approach him that way. Because Shakur Stevenson, he has James Prince advising him, managing him, whatever role James Prince is playing. Hell, he could be getting paid consultation fees like Bob Arum was paying Kinahan, right? But what we're dealing with here is Shakur Stevenson. I think he knows his profile is not big enough to where he can just leave Top Rank and go out here and roll the dice in a very unpredictable market. So I think he's going to engage Bob Arum and Top Rank and say, "Hey, look, my contract's coming to an end. I know you say I'm making good money. I know you say that my time is going to come, but I want this Gervonta Davis fight." Kind of similar to Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence. But one discernment is Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence had built to a point to where it was like, put up or shut up. And Bob Arum just, for some reason, he just didn't believe that the fight carried the value that the fighters felt the fight carried. As a result, Bob Arum, the amount of money he was looking to put up for a guarantee, it wasn't anywhere near what Terrence Crawford wanted, what Errol Spence would want. And bottom line, he just couldn't, make things work over there with PBC and Showtime. Terrence Crawford bounced, and we saw what happened, right? Still wasn't easy, but got the job done. With Shakur Stevenson, I think he's watching that, but I think he also realizes that fans are not really demanding Shakur Stevenson and Gervonta Davis. I think there's more of a demand for Shakur Stevenson and Devin Haney. I'm just going to be honest with you. That Gervonta Davis fight, we'll take it, but I don't think that's what we'd want. I think Tank versus Devin Haney is more of a demand. So I think it's Shakur versus Devin or Tank versus Devin, but not Shakur and Tank. I just don't think that's there. So I think he's going to say, "Hey, get me this fight." If Top Rank can't do it, then I think he's not gonna re-up his contract with him, and he's gonna just kind of shop around and see where he can go, and see who can offer him the best deal. And I'm gonna tell you right now, who can verbally convince him that they're the promoter to go with, it's going to be Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn, Fast Eddie, we all know Eddie Hearn has a gift of gab. But we also know that whatever Eddie Hearn says he's going to do for a fighter, as far as financially, he does it. As far as getting the fights, he does his best to do it. Okay? And if it doesn't materialize, he can explain to his fighter, "Hey, this is what happened." And the fighter will understand, and they can agree. And it is damn near impossible in any walk of life to get people to understand and agree with you. When they can understand and agree, that means that you've done everything correctly. And Eddie Hearn, for the most part, is a guy, when you listen to the fighters who've worked with him, they understand and agree with everything that this man has said. They don't have anything bad to say about him. Okay? So going forward, I think Shakur Stevenson is kind of like, "Hey, Uncle Bob, hey, this is what I want. Give me the fight. I'll continue with Top Rank. If they don't want to work, he'll go out there and try to figure things out on his own, see if he can get the fight with Gervonta." But I'm gonna tell you, that's easier said than done, especially if they do get into negotiations. Gervonta Davis, they're gonna probably offer him a flat rate or something. The percentage is gonna be a sliver of what Gervonta Davis is gonna get, because Shakur Stevenson hasn't proven to be a guy who's an international attraction. He struggles domestically. So, Gervonta Davis is must-see TV no matter where you are in the world. And I think that's where Shakur Stevenson is going to find himself ending up in no man's land, because no one's going to really want to mess with him. And no one's going to really want to try to push for that fight. They're going to want to take him, probably get him 2, 3, 4 more fights, and winnable fights where he looks good, possibly get some knockout. He's at 135 now, so he says he's feeling his man strength. And then Shakur Stevenson, man, sky could be the limit, and a fight with Gervonta Davis can materialize. But I just don't see it happening in the next year. I honestly don't. And the one thing I'll say is, when it comes to Top Rank, when it comes to Bob Arum, those guys know boxing. They know how to build stars. Look at what they've done for him, for Shakur already, what they've done for Keyshawn Davis, what they've done for Jared Anderson, what they're doing for Ricardo Torres, how they've been able to breathe life back into Efe Ajagba. But you look at the quality of opposition, they're not throwing them in there with killers, especially Efe Ajagba, but they're making those guys look like monsters. And that is what a good promoter is supposed to do. So Efe Ajagba is at a point to where it's time for him to go out here, and he could get a big money fight next. But we got to wait and see what happens. But with Shakur Stevenson, I don't think he's quite there yet. It doesn't matter what he did in 2 weight divisions. Look, he's got some work to do, and I think he dropped the ball by not taking that Devin Haney fight for Undisputed at 135. That was a stupid decision, in my opinion. So we got to wait and see what happens here with Shakur. But I'm going to tell you this. We can talk about Shakur and his contract coming to an end and fighting Gervonta Davis or fighting Devin Haney. We can have that conversation, but we must recognize that damn Dominican in front of Shakur Stevenson, who may just come and just dismantle all of these plans and derail everything that Shakur has planned for himself. Let me tell you something. I could see an upset happening. I understand favoring Shakur, but I could see an upset happening. I watched Shakur Stevenson. When he hits fighters and he hits them with those combinations and clean shots, he likes to admire his work sometimes. The problem is, with that damn De Los Santos, when you hit him, right? If you hurt him, or if you get him cornered in the ring, he reacts. He doesn't just sit there and try to shoulder roll and absorb punches. He will fight back. And I think with those cat-like reflexes that he has, if Shakur clips him, especially in a combination, Shakur is going to go to admire his work, and De Los Santos is going to react, and Shakur may not anticipate it and may get caught with that bazooka Dominican left hand. Now, I'm not saying De Los Santos is going to win. What I'm telling you is I have a strong feeling that's going to be the case, where Shakur gets hit with some shit because he's admiring his work, because he's going to have success against him. Okay, Shakur is the truth. But he likes to admire his work. And he's going to admire his goddamn work in there. It may not be off the first combination that he lands with success. It may not be the second one. But he's going to do it at some point in that fight. And I have a feeling if De Los Santos hasn't become discouraged because he keeps getting touched, he's going to react to the contact, and he's going to let his hands go. And believe you me, he may even grab Shakur, wrestle him, and trip him and throw him down. Because, like I said in other videos, he will risk disqualification to win this fight. Yo, a hungry man is an angry man. You understand? De Los Santos is a hungry man that's angry, and an angry man that's hungry. And he feels like he has nothing to lose in this fight and everything to gain. And that's all that's on the Dominican's brain. I sound like I'm rapping, right? That's all that's on his mind. So that being said, Shakur Stevenson leaving Bob Arum, I tell you what, if he loses this fight, with all this talk about leaving Bob may say, no, we're not reneging that contract. We're not going to re-up that contract, man. You out of here. Because Bob Arum, I'm telling you right now, when you look at Shakur, you look at Keyshawn, you look at Jared Anderson, they kind of putting, Bob don't really have too many gray hairs to be damn near 90 years old. But they sure as hell, them gray hairs going to sprout, because Bob Arum ain't got time for the bullshit. That being said, let's sit back and see what happens. Shakur wants Gervonta. Bob Arum wants Shakur to hang, but he's not. He's like, hey, you want to leave? Go. But I have a feeling Shakur making a fight with Gervonta is going to be very difficult for him, because his profile's not where it needs to be yet. But even more of a concern is this Dominican he has in front of him. And when you hear fighters talking about, hey, this is what I want next year, and I'm doing this, I'm doing that, my man, you haven't even got to the end of this year. You haven't dealt with this beast. You understand? You're talking about, you shouldn't be talking about nothing. Everything should be De Los Santos. Period. Even when you go on these interviews, before they even hit you with the question, yeah, all I want to talk about is De Los Santos. Don't talk about nothing else. You know, I don't want to hear that. Oh, in MMA, I would do this to this fighter. I would do that to this fighter. No one can touch me. I'm the truth. I believe in my skills. I'll beat anybody. I want to fight this. I want to. Yo, hold your horses. Let's not take it to the stupid. You didn't get the silver medal for no reason. It's because you can fight. At the same time, my man, you have a live underdog in front of you. You got someone who's coming in there who don't know how to lose, man. This guy is out here knocking people out. He's out here putting on an outstanding display of his skill set. But the one thing about De Los Santos, and I'm going to say it again, I'm a foot stomp it. When he feels contact to his face, to his body, he gets a clean combination landed on him, he gets hit, he gets hurt a little bit, he reacts. He fights back. And I think that is what's going to surprise everyone when he fights back. What's Shakur Stevenson going to do? Because he may not be prepared, because he may be there admiring his work. That being said, y'all keep cool. Shout out to the veterans, all 7 continents. I'm in the breeze.